the biggest event.
Does anything stand out?
I mean,
Other than Madonna.
other, as far as sporting event, I like shooting the live sports. I mean, I've shot Rose Bowls and I've shot at the World Series and I've been to Super Bowls and sometimes you just get a random thing. Like I was assigned to rugby in LA for a summer and I got so many cool photos from it and I got cool positions everywhere. Sometimes it's just it's not a big huge game that defines, oh my god, that was great. Sometimes it's like I have great access and I get great photos every Sunday from doing this because I'm like their photographer. Or Live Golf, I was on the first season of Live Golf. I was one of their photographers.
Shade isn't a place you hide. It's where you pause, where you think, where real work happens. Quietly, creatively, and authentically. No slides, no filters. Just candid conversation about a story worth telling. It's not about villains. This is where brand builders, creatives, and storytellers come to share the stories they usually don't tell in pitch decks or press releases. It's about the people who work behind the scenes, challenge the obvious, bend the rules, or build unforgettable brands. This is
Shady Characters.
Welcome on Shady Characters, Joe. We're excited to have you here today. Joe Scarnici, sport and active lifestyle photographer based here in San Juan Capistrano. We're honored to have you in the studio today to talk just a little bit about you and how you got into this. And you've got some really interesting backstory. We were talking a little bit about how you found influence in fashion and whatnot, but I also heard, did you tour or shoot with Madonna for an extended period of time? How did that work?
I did. I went to 22 shows around the world with her.
Yeah.
Sometimes as a videographer, sometimes as a photographer. But yeah, it was interesting. I was part of the traveling circus in a really small way for about a year and a half.
Yeah. Was what era are we talking about?
This is the Sticky and Sweet tour. So this is like 2006, 7, 8, or 7, 8, 9. Like
I'm so glad I have no idea when the Sticky and Sweet era was.
Missing out, man. What a tour.
It sounds scrumptious.
So traveling with Madonna, you described it as a traveling circus. How many people are on the road here? Is this a huge family that is traveling around at this point?
Yeah, it is. I mean, the main crew, the main dancers, and M all travel together, but they have stages. They have stages that hopscotch from one to the next, so she can just go on to the next.
Yeah.
So it's a massive production.
Yeah.
On show days, it's just all hands on deck, and everyone's like getting everything ready. It's real intense to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of personal time with her, but I shot, like I said, 22 shows. I mean, I would see her behind the scenes and in the hallways, and sometimes her kids would be running around and be hanging out with her kids while she's doing stuff before a show. It was interesting. It was cool.
Yeah.
I worked with her documentary team on the video end, and that's kind of where I learned video, was working with those guys. Like, they showed me, like, I was shooting it like a photographer, and they were just like, let things happen in your frame. That gave me a lot of good pointers and got me started on that route.
Yeah. Were you a fan of her music and her stuff before that, or do you fall into this as a random opportunity?
I think no more than the next guy in the mid 2010s. You know, I mean, in the 90s and 80s, where everybody
90s,
knew.
she was iconic. I actually still have. She did that book Sex. It's like got the aluminum covers. I still have that book.
Yeah, everybody. She was bigger then. She was bigger then than I think she is now. I mean, I think she's still relevant, but not like she was then. So I mean, yeah, for sure. I think I had a huge respect for who she was, and it's not like I was like, oh my god, I'm it's my idol musician, but still, it was like, oh my god, it's freaking Madonna. Wait, can we swear on this one?
Yeah. Okay. You can swear. But you didn't forge.
Frickin' is still okay too.
Oh, okay.
But you didn't end up forging a career in music. Why did you take a detour, or how did you find the detour and turn to sport?
I'd always been working in sport. Here in Dana Point, there was a very famous surf photographer named Art Brewer. And in 2000, after I left Massachusetts and came here, he was one of the first jobs that I got. He was a commercial sport photographer, as well as an iconic surf photographer, and I learned a lot from him, and I really enjoyed it. And it just clicked. There's different rules shooting film with sport, with lighting and freezing action, and it just clicked for me. I just understood it. And it just kind of, I just did that at the time, and really was like shooting my own content, which wasn't really sport related at all. It was more, we can't really call it fashion these days. It's different than fashion. I was shooting pretty pictures of pretty people.
Yep.
It was during my assisting days also. So I was working with a lot of fashion, like Maxim magazine, really high-end lingerie photographers. Like I was in the world. And so the world wasn't foreign to me here in LA for what LA has as far as a fashion industry. And I really liked it. I liked working in it. And when it came time for me doing it, I wasn't as good at it as working in the sport world. I like fast moving. I like things that are like intense. I like that. I like the intensity of working sports. And then it's a different kind of person. It's a really, everybody's hardworking, but sports people are physically hardworking to be the best at what they can. And I just really appreciated and kind of just related to that, I think, a little bit differently than, working lingerie or clothing brands or that kind of thing.
Sure. So if we can distill down lifestyle being, you've got talent, you talk to the talent, you direct the talent, they do the thing over and over and over for you until you get the shot, versus true sport is like, if you miss the moment, the moment's gone, right? How do you straddle the line there? And what, I guess, it sounds stressful.
It's very stressful. You have a different type of attention on it. So I shot a baseball game last night. You miss a shot, you miss a shot. It's not happening again. When you're reconstructing sport for a commercial thing, you can have them do things over and over again, but you have to bear in mind that these people are exhausting themselves to do this. So you have to be prepared. You have to be set up. You have to have your crew set up. You have to be on the right angle or ish in the right angle, because you're not going to get a million takes all day long.
Yep.
When you're out shooting, like you shot the baseball game, if you miss the shot, are there 4 other guys next to you that are also competing for that same moment, or
potentially, yes?
How does that work?
Potentially, yes. So there was a home run last night. Where I was positioned in the Padres, there were 2 screens between me and where the ball went over. I didn't get that moment, but I did get other moments of the thing that, running around the bases and celebrating with the team that some of the other photographers didn't necessarily get. There's been times where you're just like, okay, there's gonna be a play at second and you're on second, and there's a play at first and you totally miss an awesome shot. And you're like, shit, it just happens. You can't be everywhere. You have to anticipate the game, and you have to anticipate, and then inevitably something happens that you're just not anticipating.
Yep.
That's normal. You just hope that you're right place, right time, focusing on the right thing.
I think you brought up an interesting point. You have to be able to anticipate the game, but you shoot a lot of different types of games, right? Yeah. You're not shooting just baseball, and for you to understand the strategy behind baseball, to be able to anticipate the game, takes a lot of time to figure that out. But
it does.
You also know how to do this for tennis, for basketball, for like how have you amassed such a catalog of sport strategy to know where and when to be and make sure you get those shots?
And when do you go into coaching at that point?
It's a lot of trial and error. You make a lot of mistakes. You shoot shit tons of photos, and you go back on your computer and you're like, okay, this worked, but those thousands didn't. In your younger years, you start off like shooting college or younger or different sports. I mean, there were only 4 photographers at the game last night. They don't just let anybody into baseball, football. They don't just let anybody in. You have to prove that you're a good photographer or that you can handle the sport and do it. It's a lot of trial and error. You have to, if I go into something blind, like I've never shot lacrosse before, I would do research ahead of time. I would watch a lacrosse game on YouTube or watch some highlights and kind of see, okay, this kind of action happens, I have no clue how the sport is structured.
Yeah.
Totally pulled that out, right?
Yeah.
And then when I get there, I'm going to look at the sky and be like, all right, where's the sun? That's the first thing I'm going to do is go, all right, where's my light? Okay, my light's there. I'm going to position myself where there's good light, and then what kind of shots can I get with this light, right? And then you kind of look for those shots. You have to do research. I mean, that's one thing that people don't really understand is that you have to research, even if you're going to a game.
Yep. Like
You don't have obviously clearly like in a arena, you don't have those lighting concerns. The light is
In
the
an
light,
arena,
and
no.
you can shoot around the circle and you're fine.
Yeah, in basketball, you have one spot. Boing.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Sometimes some if college, some there's situations where you can
Yeah.
move around, but here's your spot.
I have a friend who shoots for the LA Kings, and he like based on where he does film, but based on what side they're shooting on, that's where he's kind of positioned throughout the game.
Yeah, if he'll be on the king side each time. But
Right.
if you're a magazine photographer, they're gonna go there's your hole.
There's your hole.
Yeah, hockey is a
don't
different
miss.
beast, right?
Hockey is a hole in the glass.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's your hole.
Yeah.
Get what you get.
Yeah.
So you learn to anticipate shots, and you learn to kind of set yourself up for shots. For example, tennis. You only shoot forehands on one side. You only shoot backhands on the other side. You shoot the light a certain way. You can go up top and you can move around, but you don't get every single frame from the same position. You have to move around to get different shots. You can shoot a serve 80 different ways, from down below, from up high. There's so many different ways of shooting a serve, and it's just where are you? What are you setting yourself up for? And then you wait for something to happen. You kind of make photos happen as you go along, but then again, you're also waiting for those sport moments, those celebrations. You're waiting for those my God, that was killer. Like
One of the coolest things I heard you say is, if you're not in the way, you're not getting the shot, right? Is there a moment where you've found yourself in the way? Like, we've all seen that shot at a football game, or some example like that, where the guy's in the end zone, there's some pass to the sideline and photographer just gets completely wrecked. Have you had one of those moments before?
that's happened to me in football and tennis.
Okay.
That's just kind of a random thing. You're just like, you roll with, what's happening.
Yeah. You learn to fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're shooting commercially, I put myself in the way. For example, you're a pickleball guy. So I just did a pickleball shoot.
Best sport, by the way.
I was just going to say, Evan's dying to know you've shot tennis. Tell us about your shooting pickleball.
If we're talking about his most exciting sport shoots, it's probably pickleball. Yeah.
I did this shoot in Bel Air last summer for K-Swiss.
Oh, the epicenter of cool pickleball.
Absolutely, right? It was a commercial shoot. This guy had built this gorgeous court on the side of his cliff it was like ridiculous as you can imagine Bel Air would be, right? And I wanted this around the post shot, and I was just like, I want the ball coming right at me. And
It's an ATP.
It's an ATP, exactly. That's right. I didn't want to use that in case people weren't.
We're with you.
Okay, so so I'm setting myself up. I'm like, I want the ball coming right at me, so I have the ball in the frame and you hitting it. And he was just like, okay. I'm just like, just don't hit me. I always tell this to tennis players or pickleball players, just don't hit me. And they're like, okay. Usually the pros don't.
Yeah.
But for this particular time, I'm sitting there cross-legged, on the ground, low angle shooting, and the guy just boom, nails me. And I'm just like, bro, he's like, you said hit it right at you. And so I'm like, all right. I'm like, do it again. Hits another one into my chest. So I just started putting pickleball paddles around me.
Armor, shield.
Armor,
Yeah.
You got to come out there in like a full catcher's outfit.
Yeah, I mean, one time we were shooting Ronaldinho in Spain. You know him; he's a soccer player, and we were like, okay, like fire it right at the camera, but pass it, and inevitably you get nailed in the hip. I got nailed in the hip that time. I put myself like right under tennis players sometimes, and I'm like, okay, I have somebody feeding a ball. I'm like, just don't hit me. Okay.
To your point, the pros are probably so good they can place it within 2 feet of you and not hit you.
Yeah, the pros are really good, so you're comfortable with it. But those accidental moments do happen.
Yeah.
It's when you put yourself in the way.
Yeah. So we're shooting a lot of live sport. Joe Scarnici, sport and active lifestyle photographer, shooting a lot of live sport. What is kind of the pinnacle of that for you? Like, what is the coolest thing you've ever had a chance to shoot live?
The biggest event?
Does anything stand out?
I mean,
Other than Madonna.
as far as sporting events, I like shooting the live sports. I mean, I've shot Rose Bowls and I've shot at the World Series, and I've been to Super Bowls, and sometimes you just get a random thing. Like I was assigned to rugby in LA for a summer, and I got so many cool photos from it, and I got cool positions everywhere. Sometimes it's just it's not a big, huge game that defines, oh my God, that was great. Sometimes it's like, I have great access and I get great photos every Sunday from doing this because I'm like their photographer. Or Live Golf. I was on the first first season of Live Golf, I was one of their photographers. We could shoot wherever we wanted. And as a golf photographer, you have to stay, that far within the ropes. And Live was like, go make whatever pictures you want. So it was like, we can be on the fairway. We could make all these pictures that we couldn't usually. You can't make on PGA. You still can't. The rules still stand for PGA. But sometimes those kind of experiences are just great. You have the freedom to go out and create differently than everybody else does, or you can just go make pictures that you can't usually make, or you can't make on a different stage. And Live Tours, they have big pros, they have big names. That was a big tour, and they just wanted different kind of photos. They were like, just go make cool photos. So, I mean, sometimes those kind of experiences were really, really great.
It sounds like they're merging PGA and Live now anyway.
They've been talking about that for a year now. I mean, who knows? The PGA, the Live golfers are going.
Yeah.
Made
out,
thank you.
merge.
Made out like bandits. Yeah.
All you guys that made fun of this.
Yep. I know.
We're back.
Yeah.
God, my pockets are heavy.
Yeah, I know. They're all pirates over there now.
Don't worry, I got the bill tonight.
Yeah. I'll get this one.
What about Olympics? Have you ever shot Olympic stuff?
I've been to 5 Olympics.
Wow.
This morning I delivered photos to Team USA because I did a big shoot for them a month ago for Winter Olympics. I do a lot of work for Team USA. I do a lot of work on and off for a few years for LA 28 for the upcoming games. I do a lot of portrait work. I do a lot of work one-on-one with the athletes. In Paris this past year, I had a studio that was set up where they went, once you medal, you have to go through drug testing and then all this video media for hours and hours. And I was the first official photo stop. So they went and they, there's happy snaps and along the way, but I had a setup in the USA house and I got all of the medalists like there. Yeah. And a lot of times this is the first time they're coming to the house and they're seeing their family after doing all their media tour and all this. And then I get them and I got these it was up to me what I wanted to do. And I wanted to do, I asked myself, again, here's the research. What does everybody shoot? Everybody shoots biting the medal. Everybody shoots the smile with the medal. You know what I mean? I wanted to make more of a heroic portrait of these people because that's what they are. They're heroes. If you win the Olympics, I mean, come on, you're a hero. In your sport, you're a hero. Some of these sports, that's the biggest thing that you can do is get a medal at the Olympics.
Some of them aren't even relevant until the Olympics.
Yeah.
And it's like, then you qualify as the best in the world.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I got great access to most of our athletes that medaled, and they came through, and I got a really great set of pictures working with them this past Olympics. I'm really happy.
So I think there's something interesting in when you're working in fashion per se, you're working with people that know how to take direction, they know how to pose, versus now I'm working with Team USA athletes who maybe they're in a more obscure sport that doesn't get a lot of coverage. They might not have a lot of experience doing stuff like this. Do you ever encounter challenges with people that you're like, oh man, this is going to be a tough one? Or most people are pretty easy.
But the thing about athletes in general, there's definitely superstars, but most of them are like kids in college or out of college. They don't know how to be in front of a camera. A lot of athletes are like that. The big name LeBrons have done it a bazillion times. They're pros, right? But there's a lot that come through and they're like, I don't know what to do with my hands. And it's like, all right, hang on, I got you. Like, you have to have a bag of tricks. You have to have a couple of things that you can just be like, all right, no problem. We're gonna do this, keep it simple. Sometimes they bring things to the table. A lot of times they bring their own personality to the table. But you have just a couple of bag of tricks, a couple of things.
You put the squeaky toy on the top of the camera, like my kid's
ducky?
Photographer. Like, look here,
Yeah, I mean, people never know what to do with their hands. And it could be, to me, hands tell a story. This is one thing I learned from Art Brewer. Hands in a photo tell a story. So chopping hands is just bad photography, chopping in a wrist or something. But what people are doing with their hands tell what's going on in their head also. Like, I'm very conscious about where hands are in my pictures. And that's one of the first things that I kind of direct when people are there. Like, a lot of times people walk up and they stand like this. I'm like, you're really locked up right now.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath. We're gonna shake it off. And I'll move them into something that's more comfortable for them. And it might take me a few different things. Every once in a while, you hit that person that you're like, okay, we're just gonna keep shooting.
Roadblock is not going to get.
I mean, they're just normal people.
Yeah,
There are
absolutely.
A lot of them that do extraordinary things.
Yeah. So the Olympics is also a time where there's a lot of really obscure sports.
Yeah.
Have you shot anything that stands out as like, oh my gosh, what are we? I don't even know how to prepare for this because it's so obscure that
Skeleton.
Yeah, that's true. You get one fraction of a second for one shot, and then they're gone, right?
You shoot with your ears. So you pick a corner.
Yeah.
Right. And then you wait and you listen to the crowd as this person is whipping down head first on an ice with a really small sled. And you can tell when they're in the corner before you, and then you just like, okay. And you, shit, I didn't even see it. Did I get anything? And it's, you learn to anticipate it, but it's hard. I mean, you're really like, you can't see them coming. And then they just go right by you. So it's tricky. I mean, I walked into that in Pyeongchang and was like, oh my God, okay. All right, we're doing this. We're going to figure this out,
Yeah. So we're in a very digital world. I'm assuming when you're shooting Olympics, you're shooting Team USA. It's, for the most part, we're shooting digital now. Is there still a time where you get to harken back to your roots in photo and analog?
No.
Yeah.
For my personal stuff sometimes, but no.
Yeah.
Everything is so quick. Everything needs to be out yesterday. We have technology to beam photos from our camera to an editor. We can get it live and on the website to sell within like 45 seconds. Wow. I mean, we do that often.
Fast.
Yeah. An editor could be in another country and you're like, bing, and they pick it up and they put it up, they're waiting for it. It's a team thing to make all of that kind of thing happen. But everything's so quick that film just isn't really a reality.
Sure.
One thing that I noticed on the topic of film in Paris was that a lot of the Olympians now have like these really rad point and shoot cameras from like 20 years ago that I used to use, and they're shooting film, and I'm like, so in 3 days you're gonna post this?
Yeah.
And they do. They posted like days later, and but by that time, like the moment's gone, or the sport could have ended.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like they're shooting their own stuff, or there's content creators that I see all the time now with film, and it's like, well, that takes at least a day if you're hustling to get some scans out of the back end of that. And what quality is it going to be, right? But it's definitely got a resurgence, but not in the real working world.
Do you think it's more of like a nostalgia thing for them that they're making prints for their home, or
you just can't duplicate film?
Yeah,
you can, but you can't.
Yeah,
to get that real feel.
For the gearheads out there, what camera or cameras are you shooting with now? For like, what's that camera that you have it set up to deliver a photo in 45 seconds?
Oh, I have two Canon R3s and a Canon 5D Mark II. Yeah, no, not 5D. What is it? R5 II. R5 II.
The R3s and the R5s.
Yeah, the R5 is more my commercial work because it's a bigger file. We got a little bit more if we're cropping in doing commercial work, but I do shoot it with sports. It's a great little camera.
Yeah, and you're shooting L series EF mount or now RF mount lens stuff.
Lenses,
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorites?
I mean, it's yes, but I don't own them. With the EF mounts, I shot a lot with my 135 and my 50. And when I changed over to RF, I sold my 135 and I bought an 85 because the 85 with the bokeh is beautiful. I miss my 135.
Yeah.
I now retrospect, and I shoot portraits, I shoot commercial work. The 85 is great. It's a solid workhorse and it's a great look for that kind of stuff, but I miss my 135 millimeter lens. It's like it's just a different kind of fly on the wall look. I miss it. It's a great lens. In the 50, I mean, I feel like I get out of the 85 what I got with the 50. It's just, you got to be a little further back.
Yeah. Nice. Do you love shooting portraits?
I do.
I love shooting portraits too. I feel like there's this like moment that happens between a subject and the photographer when you're shooting portraits that feels intimate in like the best way possible. Do you share that similarity? Is that
absolutely. And I also I'll take it a step further. There's like a challenge sometime, and this also ties into, you meet those people that aren't necessarily comfortable in front of a camera like a model would be, right? So I used to shoot for the Surfer's Journal long ass time ago, and they would send me to shoot people, and surfers are the most backed off people you can shoot. They don't give a shit. They're just super backed off. At least back then it was. And so I'd have to go shoot these people, and I would take a portrait and I'd have to cross over, and it was like a challenge of figuring out the person.
Yep.
I actually started college back in the day for psychology because I like the way the brain works.
Yeah.
And so I just like the way the brain works. And so to me, I like that additional challenge of how do I figure this person out? How do I get that thing out of them that's going to make a good portrait?
Yeah.
You know?
I can see a tie-in between someone that went to school for psychology and turning to there is like this enigma thing. There is this unlocking the puzzle thing happening in photography that you're also being challenged with in psychology, probably, right?
Yeah.
But
I mean, you have 10 seconds to relate to somebody. This is so the Team USA thing I just shot a month ago. I don't know any of these people.
Yeah.
They need to walk onto they go through hair and makeup, they get briefed, they change, they come to me. Hi, how you doing? Here's what I have like 10 seconds to.
They got to be comfortable with you instantly.
Right away.
Yeah.
Right away.
And you probably only have a few minutes with them, right?
Exactly.
Like,
And you have what, 8 minutes?
Yeah.
I mean, that shoot, I was very blessed. I had time with them, but like a lot of athletes, it's like, okay, you have 7 minutes. Do you want to talk to them for 2 and shoot for 5, or do you want to just go? You know, you don't have that luxury of like making them comfortable. So you just have to like right away. Again, you have to have a bag of tricks and just kind of disarm them a little bit and go, okay, here's what we're going to do. And again, it's a lot of prep to like prep your mental to be able to prep them mentally for what you're going to do.
Sure.
And
yeah, sure. Do you have a good icebreaker that you can share?
No.
Something that works every time? Yeah.
I have an assistant with a shit ton of dad jokes.
It's dad jokes. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
One thing I'd like to just add on to this thing, if you look at my style now, I think that you can, if you know those things about my history, you can see some of the fashion influence of my early days. You can see some of my psychology influence in the eyes and the hands of some of my portraits.
Interesting.
And you can see, you can see that I love sport and that I love working with athletes and I love making good, interesting pictures of all of them.
Yeah.
I don't pose fashion-y, but I definitely learned a lot of little tricks in there. Yeah,
sure.
that comes into play with some of the stuff that I shoot for sport.
Yeah.
Maybe
Do you have a favorite sport to shoot?
Tennis, beach volleyball.
Yeah.
Beach volleyball is a big overlooked sport. Women's beach volleyball is a tough sport. Men's is they serve it up, they spike it. They set it, they spike it.
I feel the same about like tennis, to be honest with you. I feel like tennis, the ball moves so fast with men's that the women it's one of those sports that it's just more fun to watch.
Yeah, but tennis is it's fun to shoot. Tennis is grueling. I mean, there's no timeouts, there's no halftime, there's no breaks.
Yeah.
They play for 5 hours. They play for 5 hours. Yeah. You know, it's a very physically demanding sport. And I like it. You can see sometimes an athlete like crumbling in their head.
Oh yeah.
You can see them like breaking down, and then you can see them also when they're like, I got this game. You know what I mean? Like, what am I going to have for lunch? And they serve. You know, it's it's an interesting, it's a fun game to shoot.
So the psychology side of you is shooting live sport and also able to diagnose kind of where the two mental states would be. Let's say in tennis, for example, when it's one-on-one, you're kind of a seesayer, right? You're like, oh, I can tell this guy's definitely going to take this thing already because I can see the confidence and I can see the lack of confidence maybe on the other side.
Yeah, and I'm drawn to photograph
You'd be
that
good
emotion.
at sports betting. mid game, just pull the phone out, throw. Okay, I see him over there. Nadal, I don't know.
Murray's going down. One more set.
Man, that would be a whole racket.
Yeah. I do look for that, and I look to try and photograph that when I see it.
Sure.
In one way or another.
I mean, yes. I guess interestingly, like a lot of the beauty is in the tragedy, right? So like there becomes a lot of those like moments, those like really emotionally engaging photos are going to be in triumph or tragedy, right? So it's going to be one side or the other, and
I mean, you want to see some more of that? You can see my Instagram at Joe Scarnici or my website, joescarnici.com.
joescarnici.com. Joe Scarnici, sport and active lifestyle photographer. Thank you for coming on Shady Characters today. It was a real honor to just hear you talk a bit more about what it takes to be a sport and active lifestyle photographer at such a high level. And it's really fascinating to learn more about that. Thank you.
Thanks both of you guys for having me.
Thanks, Joe.
You have new shoes on today?
They're like new old shoes, but look how cool these are.
They're very white.
Yeah, those are pretty rad.
It's that dude Tyler, the creator, did a collab with Converse One Stars a while back.
Huh.
Yeah, they got little flowers on them.
Yeah.
The real expensive guy that customizes shoes.
Yeah, it's the same shoe, just
Yeah, he just
with
like
Makes them cool and really valuable.
with an
charges a ton of money for them.
extra zero.
Yeah,
Yeah.
throws another 0
Yeah.
or 2 on them.
Yeah.
It's
You know.
something that I will relate with you. Evan was 10.
I feel like Joe's probably closer to my age. I don't know. How old are you?
45.
Yeah, okay, I'm
Yeah, he's
42.
kinda straddle the
he's
middle.
yeah, we're Eiffel Towering around you.